Northeast will see little rough seas along the New England coastline from that hurricane that's going away. Miles and miles of sunshine. Miles Davis. We're going to put Miles out there today. Nice as it can be across the Northeast. Rough seas still from the chop from that hurricane. But other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet. That's a quick look at the national forecast. Here's an early look at your weather.
Hi, everybody. I'm Hillary Howard. It is beautiful outside. Perfect September day with lots of sunshine. Oh, would you look at Washington, huh? I'm going outside today. Anyway, we're going to have a pretty day. Temperatures will be 77 to 82 degrees. Obviously, in the higher elevations, it'll be just a little cooler. And then same thing tonight. Tonight, we'll see a wide disparity.
Right now, we want to check in with Morna Woken and get the latest on traffic. Morna.
Good morning. Well, things are looking pretty good. A couple of areas to point out as you head out the door on your way to work this morning. Let's take a look at the Woodrow Wilson Bridge on the Virginia side, just near Route 1. As you're approaching the bridge, expect some slow traffic there. There's also an accident just before there at Telegraph Road. The left lane is blocked, so it's causing some delays in this area. Delays do begin at Eisenhower Avenue. Now let's go to the upper part of the Beltway at Connecticut Avenue, 185. Let's take a look at that. You can see in the camera there's some sunshine delays, so that's going to cause you some trouble as you make your way through that area. We'll be back to update you riding to work on Fox 5 on-time traffic. Back to the studio.
All right, thank you, Marta. 67 degrees. We've warmed up 3 in the last hour, but it's still cooler than it was yesterday. Yesterday it was 75. Northwest wind at 9. They will remain out of the northwest and north throughout the day today and tomorrow. That means humidity level, look at this, 73%. It was up to about 88% early this morning, so that's going to continue to fall.
Gorgeous 70s for highs. Then Thursday, partly sunny. Could have a passing shower Thursday evening. Otherwise, dry weather all the way into the weekend.
Let's head down to Washington. Hey, Willard, look who's here. Mr. Peanut.
I love Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut is here.
Is he salt-free and dry roasted?
I know. Well, he hasn't come out of his shell yet. He just.
Hey, have you ever done anything for Habitat for Humanity?
Yes.
Did you ever take a hammer and saw it?
You bet. Yes, we did. We did. In fact, the Today Show did it a couple of months ago up in Harlem.
I thought you'd get a big kick out of this. Jimmy Carter, one of the nicest people in the whole wide world. A beautiful man, done so many great things. Here's his, where was it? Did you see his picture? Was it up there? And there you go. And some of his friends. And they're having their 25th anniversary. Can you believe that? Indianapolis, Indiana, this coming Saturday, the 15th. 25 years of helping humanity by building them a home. Can't beat that. And the people that actually live in the house helped to build it, too. Check it out. Happy birthday and happy anniversary to Habitat, one of the great organizations. On the back of our Smucker's jar, Alex LeBlanc of Waltham, Mass. Independent fellow, loves being around people. Fondest memory is going to the airport with his friends in the 20s and flying with student pilots in open cockpit planes. How about that? Handsome dude. Molly Holtzberg of Coconut Creek, Florida is 100 years old, loves to read, loves theater, discussing politics, and loves a good party and being with people. A party animal, Molly, you old fox. Sidney Johnson of Glenmara, Louisiana is 101, wonderful homemaker, enjoyed taking care of her family.
Not bad for a former mattress delivery boy, I guess.
Futon, yes, right here in
New York.
Where I grew
Peter,
up.
you were known mostly as a film actor. We were giving you some grief over there earlier.
Yes.
Mostly Frankenstein is what we remember.
Mostly Frankenstein.
Yeah. Go ahead, do it. Come on.
Animal instinct, adrenaline. These young athletes wouldn't dream of hitting the football field without the proper equipment. Yet oftentimes, grueling practice or game day, the pressure to perform has them avoiding one essential element, fluids.
The whole athletic mantra is to push yourself, especially sports such as football. You know, be a man, you know, play till it hurts, can be detrimental to a child.
It knows his business. Anyway, happy birthday to all. Now back to Matt in Little Old New York.
All right, Willard, thank you very much. Coming up, Katie talks to Harry Belafonte. But first, this is Today on NBC.
I'm Barbara Harrison. My Wednesday's Child reports have helped hundreds of local children find loving adoptive homes. And now you can help too with just a few simple steps. Join the Freddie Mac Foundation and NBC4 for the 12th annual Wednesday's Child 5K race for adoption. It's on Sunday, September 16th. Come run or walk to show your support for the thousands of local foster children still waiting to be adopted. Registration is free and there are great prizes. Log on to NBC4.com for more information. And thank you.
Oh, the wonderful thing about children is it never occurs to them that their dreams might not come true.
My dream has come true. With hard work and some good financial advice, I just opened my 3rd child care center. We take care of hundreds of children every day. Our children are our future. They just don't know it yet.
Smart financial services from Mutual of Omaha, helping plan successful futures for over 90 years.
Why do the 4 giant bell phone monopolies want toes and dingles so badly? How about this? Section 4A states, neither the FCC nor any state shall have authority to regulate the rates, charges, terms, or conditions for any high-speed data service. Toes and Dingle will turn the 4 bell giants loose on America and then prohibit the FCC and all 50 states from protecting us. So, this is why our parents told us to read the fine print.
Just listen to my voice.
On September 28th,
look in my eyes.
On this quiet street, a stranger will arrive and pass his power to another. From the author of The Green Mile,
find the Queen of Hearts,
and the director of Shine,
tell me what you see.
This one here.
Anthony Hopkins. Hearts in Atlantis. Rated PG-13. Sneak preview September 15th. Starts September 28th.
Nearly 50 years ago, entertainer Harry Belafonte embarked on an extraordinary project. He set out to research and record the music of black Americans from the period of their earliest arrival in the New World in the 17th century up through the spirituals, blues, and folk music of the early 20th century. The work was completed 30 years ago, but it's only now that music lovers can enjoy this collection of songs. It's called The Long Road to Freedom, an anthology of black music. Belafonte was principal producer and one of many artists featured on this 80-song box set.
Well, it's free grace, my loving sister, free grace, come newborn again. All right now, gather round the rails, boys. Turn that rail to your stomach, head high, throw it away. Whoa, white man, he called me lazy. Work like me, he soon go crazy. White man, get me all the time.
Hey, get off the counter.
The Heartburn Hotel. If you suffer persistent heartburn 2 days a week or more, despite diet change and treatment, it may be acid reflux disease. Prescription Prevacid can mean 24-hour relief from acid reflux disease. Prevacid turns off tiny pumps that produce acid. It has a low occurrence of side effects, such as diarrhea, abdominal pain, and nausea. Ask your doctor if Prevacid is right for you.
So leave your heartburn behind.
Worried about unexpected bills or mounting credit card debt? Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-71-FIXED and apply for a second mortgage with Ditech's no closing cost option. With a second mortgage, you may be able to consolidate your high-interest debts into one low monthly payment. It's smart money from Ditech.com. Apply online or call us at 1-800-71-FIXED right now.
My daughter has this guy friend. He's a pizza fanatic. He loves Stouffer's French bread pizza. Hot off the plate and crunch. All that cheese and pepperoni? You should see this guy eat.
Listen, they don't want you to know what really happens when you chew that extra polarized gum. It really messes with you, man. Look what it did to my little sister. Don't do no extra polar ice. Give me that.
There, but it's a marketing age, and I think many ethical questions are raised
absolutely.
By marketing.
We'll see what happens now. 8:40 right now. Well, coming up, it may not be the same old baby face that you're used to. We're going to talk with the singer, songwriter, producer about his new look and sounds that's ahead.
Then, how do you stump the future Mrs. America? Give her a pop quiz. What happened when some pageant hopefuls were put on the spot? Coming up, Holly.
Clark, hold on. Excuse me, do you know what time it is?
Time for you to give me your number.
I guess that means it didn't work. Hey, listen, the Love Cruise sets sail tonight, so we thought it'd be fun to hang out with some singles. Right now, we're getting lines that work.
I know you from somewhere.
Here's a move that usually works on a young lady.
Here's my number. I'd love you to call me sometime.
Sure.
Sir, can you help me with my flat tire?
Oh, those all work? Okay, what doesn't work? That's what I want to know.
Your legs must be tired because you've been running through my mind all day.
That's a tired line.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Baby, you look so good. Your name must be Angel.
Oh, must have worked with you.
Hey, got me.
Oh, my gosh! You guys are too much fun. Hey, listen, they can try those lines or not try those lines when they go on their singles vacations. We're going to have those ideas coming up next live on Fox 5 Morning News. Stay with us. I promise there was nothing in that orange.
Don't even think about it. That is not on your grocery list. But Beth found
Gourmet magazine has been chronicling the way folks live and eat since 1941. Now the September anniversary issue of the magazine is celebrating 60 years of gastronomic goodies with some original recipes from years past. Zan Stewart is the executive food editor of Gourmet. My friend, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I was amazed. You know, why would you start a magazine, not you, but why would they start a magazine in 1941? There was this little thing going on in Europe.
Oh, yes, the incident called the war.
Yes.
It was not the best time to start a magazine, certainly not an Epicurean magazine, but look at us, 60 years later.
Yeah.
You know, it worked.
Really?
And it actually, a lot of magazines dwell in the fantasy realm, and it was a good thing for people.
But Gourmet didn't when it started, right?
No, no, no. Gourmet was very, very rooted in what people in the world eat. And we still are.
Okay. So what was the criteria here when you were choosing recipes to include in this issue?
What tastes good.
Period.
What still tastes good after 60 years.
And you tried to get foods that were representative of the time or were most popular at the time?
Both. Both. I mean, we wanted to be able to make certain statements, but we also wanted food that would translate into today's kitchen.
Okay. Make a statement about the 40s. Why'd you choose lobster thermidor?
Oh, boy. It's just one of those dishes. I remember my grandparents talking about it, and it was a war horse of the 40s.
Disappointed with the United States about that, aren't you?
Yes, because I believe that the world is really in need of compassion. And the world is really in need of voices that will come to the table with reason and lead people to a new level of thinking. And the United States, which dominates so much of the world order, I believe has a responsibility to lead the world to a new level of thought, or at least open up debate so that new information can come into the discourse, so we may be able to shape policies that are a little bit richer than the policies we've been applying all along. That doesn't seem to be taking us out of the abyss of violence, killing, anger, rage, and I think we should be less arrogant about how we use our resources.
Obviously, delegates left with sort of instructions on how to improve the situation in their respective countries. But do you think this conference will really have an impact on the average person in the world in terms of racism, intolerance, etc.?
Yes, I do. I believe it'll be a while before a lot of the resonance from this gets into the mainstream experience. But it's a beginning, and remarkable men and women from all over the world.
Let's go to Amanda Bergen in Skyfox for an update on that school bus accident in Southeast. Amanda.
Well, Lark, it's at Condon Terrace and 4th Street Southeast. We'll give you a look down below. The accident is still there. You can see the bus was T-boned by a car, a sedan. And as far as we can see, the children are no longer there. We can tell you that none of the children was taken to the hospital. Also, there was a bus attendant and a bus driver. They were not taken to the hospital either. We do know the two people in the car that actually hit the bus are refusing treatment at this time. Whether or not they were seriously injured, we do not yet know. But you can see here the bus appeared to have been going through the intersection when the car ran into the bus. It happened just before 8 o'clock this morning. The kids are D.C. students that were headed to Accotink Academy in Springfield, Virginia. They're D.C. special needs students that were headed to that academy. But again, Lark, none of the children was seriously injured as far as we know at this time. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much for that update. Michael?
Well, they began as 16 singles on a cruise ship headed for Aruba, but only one couple remains.
We've made this with store-bought pasta, but this was when Americans discovered that Italian food didn't have to be just tomato sauce.
Yeah, didn't have to be spaghetti and meatballs. What are you drinking with it?
The Kir. It was, you know, it's a little bit, you know, lighter.
Yeah. A little foo-foo.
A little foo-foo, but it was the 70s.
What do we got here in the 80s?
Okay, we move
More
on.
cheese.
We're still in love. We're still in love with Italy, though. Porcini risotto. It's a beautiful rice dish, creamy, but no cream added. A little cheese at the end, and wonderful porcini mushrooms.
And the 90s?
The 90s. The wrap. We reinvented the sandwich using Tortillas. Want to help me with it?
Go ahead. You're going
okay, now this is something.
I had one.
People always ask me, Whoopi, what's your favorite Entenmann's? Like I'm going to tell them. If I said it was the ultimate crumb cake, they go flying off the shelf and there'd be none for me. So I never tell anybody what my favorite is. Ever. Entenmann's, what's your favorite?
Thomas's Bagels.
Thomas's makes bagels?
Nobody makes a fresh bagel like Thomas's. Golden outside, perfect texture inside.
Thomas's makes a great bagel.
Thomas's Bagels.
Bring it in, fellas. There we go. Come on, hustle up now. Come on. Here we go. Oh, there you go.
Mr. Hack, good morning. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
You say, I'm fine, thank you. You say this is a different perspective on Howard Hughes because the other books have been written based on stories told by people who knew him. You think this is his point of view. How could that be?
Well, I made the effort to try to get inside his mind. This is you know, he was America's first billionaire, and he was a famous film producer after all. He did, you'll recall, The Outlaw with Jane Russell and the Press.
Crashed? Jim, just a few moments ago, something believed to be a plane crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center. I just saw flames inside. You can see the smoke coming out of the tower. We have no idea what it was. It was a tremendous boom just a few moments ago. You can hear around me emergency vehicles heading towards the scene. Now, this could have been an aircraft, or it could have been something internal. It appears to be something coming from the outside due to the nature of the opening on about the 100th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. Police vehicles and fire vehicles are zipping by me here. We just have no idea. To the south of the tower, we see some particles, also some gray smoke. Now the smoke coming out of the opening appears to be black smoke. This would indicate things are burning inside. We have no idea of what happened, but we did hear what sounded like an aircraft, and then a tremendous boom. Now, I don't know whether we can confirm that that was an aircraft or not. David, what did you hear? What would you say you heard? This is our cameraman, Dave Stolick.
Incredible explosion. Very, very loud.
How about you, hon?
It sounded like a bomb.
Well, it could be. It could be something internal as well. There are pieces of the superstructure of the World Trade Center sticking out, but a lot going in. As I say, this appears to be about the 100th floor of the South Tower of the World Trade Center. I hope we can get some further information from the newsroom up there, Jim.
Ollie, I'm just told also that our transmitter, which is on top of the World Trade Center, also took a hit. So we were briefly affected up here. One's memory has to go back to the another terrorist attack. One would hope it is not this time, but if it were a plane that crashed into the side of the building, you would imagine that there would be something on the ground that would be visible. So
that's true, Jim. I cannot see the ground from here. You recall back in, I believe it was 1945, when a U.S. Air Force plane crashed into about the 70th or 80th floor of the Empire State Building during a foggy night. The skies here, as you can see, are perfectly clear. So I'm starting to lean to the idea that perhaps this, whatever happened here, came from the inside of the World Trade Center.
Yeah, of course, that incident back there in the 40s in the offices of Catholic Charities up on the 80th floor of the Empire State Building. This, of course, the new tallest building in town. Now, obviously, on the North Tower of the World Trade Center, something has either crashed into the World Trade Center. If it were I'm just told that Metro Traffic is reporting that it was indeed a plane crash. If that's the case, where's the plane? I would ask. I don't see it in that live picture there. And one's thoughts obviously go back to a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center that created havoc there back in the early 90s. Ali, any new developments that you
Jim,
can see from your vantage point?
You can't see flames now. There is a fire going on at that site. We don't know. Are you saying that shadow traffic is saying something about a plane?
Shadow traffic is telling us that it was indeed a plane crash. Metro traffic, I'm sorry. Metro traffic is telling us that it was indeed a plane crash. Now, I understand that you are over by City Hall, having been reporting on the political developments. Now, you are a good, 8, 9, 10 blocks away from the scene right now?
At least, Jim. We're at Park Row, and, of course, the World Trade Center is at least 6 or 7 blocks away from us. I do see more flame now.
It's 8:52 here in New York. I'm Bryant Gumbel. We understand that there has been a plane crash on the southern tip of Manhattan. You're looking at the World Trade Center. We understand that a plane has crashed into the World Trade Center. We don't know anything more than that. We don't know if it was a commercial aircraft. We don't know if it was a private aircraft. We have no idea how many were on board or what the extent of the injuries are right now. We have, I understand, an eyewitness on the phone right now. Sir, what's your name?
Yeah, my name is Stuart.
Stuart, where are you right now?
I'm working at a restaurant in Soho.
All right, so tell us what you saw, if you would.
I was waiting at a table and I literally saw it seemed to be like a small plane. I just heard a couple noises. It looked like it bounced off the building, and then I just saw a huge ball of fire on top. And then the smoke seemed to simmer down, and it just a lot of smoke was coming out, and that's pretty much the extent of what I saw.
As Matt just mentioned, we have a breaking news story to tell you about. Apparently, a plane has just crashed into the World Trade Center here in New York City. It happened just a few moments ago, apparently. We have very little information.
Do you have any people to talk to?
Sure, we've got some people here walking away. Excuse me, sir, did you see what happened?
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw something like bomb. And
did you see anything hit the building, or did it come from the building?
That's the bomb, I think so. That's the
Something
bomb.
hit the building?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, we got some other people. They're all rushing away from the site.
Don't blame him, especially that fellow with a little girl in his arms.
Did you see what happened, sir? Did you see what happened? What happened?
Well, I was in the past train, and there was a huge explosion sound. Everyone came out. A large section of the building is blown out, around the 80th floor.
Was it hit by something, or was it something inside?
It was inside. Because it looked out. Everything was coming out. All the windows were coming out. All the papers were
What is on the sidewalk?
I didn't see anything.
Were there any people hurt, do you know?
I just ran, and everyone in the past train just ran. I don't know if anyone was hurt, but I assume they were because the windows were all blown out.
All right, thank you.
Ali, you would have to assume a very, very terrible situation if that indeed is the case, because I'm sure there were people up there in that. There were people up there in that World Trade Center. Now, we have lost, again, our transmitter is on top of the World Trade Center, so we apparently have consequently lost contact with Dick Oliver. But we are on the phone with an eyewitness. Rosa, can you hear me? Is Rosa there?
Hello?
Rosa?
Yes.
This is Jim Ryan here in the studio.
Hi.
What is your last name, please?
Cardona Rivera.
Oh, Cardona. Rosa Cardona Rivera. Tell us what you saw and heard, if you would, please.
Okay. I'm at 99 Hudson Street. I was standing outside, actually, at the side of the building smoking a cigarette. And I hear a plane, and I don't usually see planes in this area. Then all of a sudden I saw it go right into the World Trade Center, to the building.
So
right
you saw a plane crash into the side of the World Trade Center?
Yes, sir.
And
I'm on the 14th floor, so I was just looking out, because there's a fire, something like fire staircase or something, just like a little balcony. And I saw it go right into the building, and I was like, oh my God, And it was a big plane. It wasn't, a little plane. It was fairly big.
How big, can you tell us? Give us an idea.
I don't know. I would say it was like a plane that I board on to go to wow.
So this wasn't just a small Piper Cub or something that had gone the wrong way. And of course, we would the weather, I take it, where you are is just about picture perfect.
Picture perfect, yes. It's very clear outside.
So there would be the suspicion then that anybody who would drive a plane smack into the middle of the World Trade Center would have done it on purpose.
It would seem that either that or they lost control, but I can't see something like that. I mean, it was like right into the building, so, you know, and it was coming low. You know, because if I were to see a plane that was going high, and then all right, but this was coming low, very visible.
We have people joining us every moment. Take me through again where you were, when this happened, what you saw.
I was serving tables at a restaurant, and I just heard sort of like a boom sound. It almost like an earthquake sound, and I looked up and I saw literally something like, it might have even bounced off a little bit of a building, and next thing I know, I saw a big ball of fire on the top of the building and just lots of smoke and what looked like to be debris or glass falling down. And it happened really quick. It's really hard to...
What was unbelievable was the amount of fire. It was a big ball of fire that just went up. And I looked around at people. We were all horrified. I'm stuttering because I'm in such shock. I've never seen anything like it. It's just horrible.
And of course, this is real cause for concern because the World Trade Center is one of the busiest office buildings here in New York with hundreds, perhaps thousands of workers
New York State Governor has his office there.
New York City office there.
Several thousand and of course, given the time that this has happened, it's only probably appropriate to surmise that people might have been in the building.
And you know, we've seen stories in the past where planes have hit buildings, small planes, and it would be hard to imagine that a small plane could create that kind of hole in a building like the World Trade Center and create the damage on the other side of the building from the sheer impact. Small planes tend to crumple and then fall down the building. Again, we haven't talked to anyone who's close to the base of the building, so we don't know what kind of debris or wreckage. Yes, go ahead, Jennifer.
I'm sorry. I'm just talking to a police officer right here, and he says, yes, he heard it was a plane.
Does he have any information about what kind of plane it was, or can he tell us any more details?
May I? I'm going to put you on hold for one moment, okay?
Just to recap, if you're just joining us, you're looking at dramatic pictures of New York's World Trade Center in Lower Manhattan, where a short time ago we are told that a plane crashed into the upper floors of the westernmost tower. You can see a gaping hole. That is on the north side of the building, and you can see residual damage on the west side of that building, and obviously fires are burning right now in the World Trade Center.
Smash. It looks like it went head-on, smack into the World Trade Center building. One could only expect, given the weather conditions, given looking at that picture live right there, that it went smack inside the World Trade Center. And if that is the case, I'm afraid we've got a tragedy on our hands.
We've got something coming across the wire here, James, but actually it's nothing more than what you've already been reporting. Witnesses report hearing a huge explosion.
Yeah, well, we're looking at, there's no doubt there was a huge explosion and fire, lots of black smoke coming from that building. Black smoke, again, would indicate that the fire is nowhere near under control. I expect they have sprinkler systems in there.
Jim? You're watching live pictures from New York City. Again, apparently a small aircraft has hit the World Trade Center, one of the two towers in New York City's financial district.
There are several large holes right in the sides of the World Trade Center, 110 stories high. No word yet of any injuries or deaths, but no doubt there is panic right now inside that building as the flames and smoke are filling those upper floors. We're going to have more for you as we continue live coverage here on Fox 4.
And then it just drove right through the World Trade Center tower.
What's your vantage point there, Jim?
I am actually across the Hudson in Hoboken, but I have a clear view right at the World Trade Towers.
Now, it did seem to you that it was done on purpose?
You know, I don't know if I can say that, but it was a very odd type of turn. It was headed directly at the building, so whether that was on purpose or not, I can't tell. I don't know if he was trying to avoid or they were headed for it.
Describe that turn for us, would you? Was it particularly heavily banked?
It was pretty heavily banked. maybe 45 degrees. Again, hard to tell. It was kind of unremarkable because you do see planes fly through here. It was a large plane, like a 727, and that's the only reason I kept looking. And then it went right into the building. I just thought it was going to follow the river and keep on going, but it didn't.
Now, after the plane struck the building, from your vantage point, it apparently went directly inside.
That's correct.
And if that's the case, my goodness.
Yeah, actually, as the impact occurred, you could see debris flying out the other side.
So it apparently went right through the. We're looking at a live picture of the building right now, Jim. And what would you say that would be about the 90th floor or so?
Yeah, I can't tell if it went right through, but certainly debris was shot out the other side of the building.
Did you hear anything when it took place? Did you hear the crash?
Yes, I did.
A plane has crashed into one of the twin towers of the World Trade Center. You can see it now on the screen right there. And don't know what the intent was, whether it was deliberate or accidental, but there is a fire going on there. Bits of debris are falling down to the sidewalks below. It happened at 8:48, about 12 minutes ago. And so it's developing and will continue to develop all through the day.
And if you can see those bits of debris, they're large. If you can see it, it's large.
Yeah.
Because the World Trade Center is so immense, and you can clearly see things falling.
A lot of speculation whether or not it was an accident or maybe a suicide bomber. Not out of the question these days. So there it is.
Another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh my God! Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God! It's right in the middle of the building.
This one into the East Tower.
Yes. Yes. Right in the middle of the building. And right now, that was definitely looked like it was on purpose.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
Why do you say that was definitely on purpose?
Because it just flew straight into it. It didn't look like it was, and it didn't look like a commercial jet. It was a smaller plane. It was definitely a smaller plane.
Can you characterize the scene down there right now for us?
Now, on the...
Yeah, as you can look down to the street?
Yes.
From your vantage point?
On the second building, I think that the further one, the east side, there it looks like it's about, I would say 15 floors lower than the first building, and there's now flames coming out of that building as well. They're both completely on fire.
I made it just inside, just in time. I was with the kids, and we, oh my gosh, something just exploded.
As a close-up view, I guess.
Something just exploded.
Maybe that plane had something in it. And there's phones going off.
Are we getting an explosion?
There was an explosion
inside?
there, huh? Yeah. You can see the flames.
When something like this happens, it's such a mass destruction, you have to wonder about, of course, it looks like both buildings. That's both buildings. This is the next building.
Jumped over to the next building, huh? Fuselage exploded on the plane and
shot into the next building?
Leaped into the next building.
This is just the worst.
Yeah, just yesterday, the other day, we were talking about the job the New York City and every city's fire department has, and this is going to be a tough one because that's almost at the top of that building.
There are so many people in there.
And it would happen, right after the workday begins.
Right after the workday begins, yeah. But this is New York, so it...
Well,
everything starts earlier here.
We'll just have to continue here, but we will continuously bring you updates on
I just
that
feel
story.
sick to my stomach. I really do. I feel sick to my stomach for those people in there. It's just the worst thing I can imagine.
Time. What's going on, Julie? You want to go back to it? This is going to be the kind of a show where we'll have to keep going back and forth.
I guess it's being said that a second plane hit the other tower.
That sounds like deliberate to me. I mean, I hate to say anything on live TV. A third plane. Oh, yeah, this is really something. 3 planes. How many, Gilman? Two or three?
We don't know. Right now, that was a replay of the...
Yeah, that was a replay of the second one going into the other tower. Wow, I just can't believe what's happening here.
Why don't we go to commercial?
Why don't we go to a commercial break, regroup, and get this story straight, okay? We'll be right back in a moment.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm just getting some information. We have an explanation for what happened there when we saw that second explosion, because the towers are far enough apart that you would think they were independent. We have two of our people responding to the area saying that they saw another aircraft crash into the other tower of the World Trade Center. I don't know at this point whether that would be a plane that was in the area, whether it would be a news helicopter or a police helicopter or something like that, but that's the word we're getting now, is that after all of this, after the mayhem going on at one World Trade Center, there was a second aircraft that crashed into the other World Trade Center